Good morning, everybody. So today I want to show you how to start doing the armature for your coral reef. Okay, so the first thing is you're going to need your wire. So in your pack of stuff, it was probably in your second one, the Ceramics Packet 2.0. Depending on what term you're in. But this one is 18 gauge, so it says 50 feet, 18 gauge aluminum wire. So you want to find this, okay? And then you're also going to have a pair of pliers. I left my school ones at school, and so I'm using these ones. But yours are basically the same. They're just a lighter blue, but they still have the little cutter thing, and the nose on yours is just a little shorter, but totally fine. It works exactly the same way. Yours are actually probably a little easier than mine. So first order of business is getting this plastic junk off of the little wire thing. It comes wrapped around on the wire thing, and if you have a brand new one, it'll have this plastic stuff, and it's just a matter of like peeling it off. That for me is actually the hardest part of this project, is just getting this plastic off. If you have one that was previously used by a student, then yours won't have the plastic on it and you're good. The next thing I want to point out is which part of the wire to move. So there is going to be one piece of wire that's kind of short and hanging out of the side, and you can kind of see that it comes from way back in the back. Don't try to pull this one because it's really hard to get it to come out. There should be, and you'll have to look for it, but there should be a second piece of wire that is significantly easier to pull out. So look for the one that's easy. If you try to pull on this one and it's like difficult to pull, then it's not the right one, and look for the other end, okay? So once you find the other end, you're gonna be doing a couple different things. So you're gonna have some pieces for your seaweed that are gonna be a little bit shorter. So, you know, it doesn't have to be a specific length. When I measured it, just to give you guys an idea of the length, I just had my arm laid out and I made it go from my wrist to the inside of my elbow. And that's how long I went for it. So once I have it kind of stretched out, there's on my pliers, there's a little cutter piece right here. Okay. So you do want to be careful, you know, don't stick your finger on the inside. Don't stick your finger in there. Cause you know, they could hurt you and that would be a bummer. You don't want to get a pinch. Okay. But there's this little cutter piece right here. Okay. That part right there can cut wire. So when you do this, if you just grip it right here on the pliers, it's just going to hold it. It's not going to cut it. But if you move the wire all the way down to this cutter area, if I push lightly, I can hold it. But if I push all the way closed and wiggle it, it should come off really, really easily. If you're putting a lot of pressure on it, then you're not in the right spot. Because if you're on this little grippy area right here, it's not going to cut it. It has to be in this little cutter area in the back. And it should be a fairly gentle squeeze with just a little bit of wiggle. Okay. So you are going to want 3 pieces. I made it extra. You're going to want 3 pieces of the shorter one for the seaweed. And then for the coral, you're going to need some longer pieces. So for these ones, it's cut the same way, but I made it go basically from my fingertip to the inside of my elbow. So it's just a little bit longer, but it's the same thing. And once you have the first one cut, you can always just be like, that looks pretty good. And you just stick the wire into that cutter area, wobble it, and there you go. All right, thanks everybody.